Hi, Mrs. Weber's class. So at the top of our document, it says Chapter 6 Review, McKeever, but this is actually for you guys. This is the Chapter 6 review that you're going to be taking notes on as you watch this video, right? But right now, we're just really quickly going through it so that you get a basic understanding, but you still need to write your own notes, yes? And the great thing is you can pause me whenever you want, yeah? Okay, pencils down, eyes up here. All right, so Chapter 6 Review, can you intelligently study for a test? Yes. Intelligently studying means that you study the things more that you struggle with, right? You look over everything, you make a note card, you look at your cheat walls, you look at your notes, you do the review, you do some practice problems, you look at your assignments. So many different things you can do, right? But you focus on the things that were really hard for you, yes? Okay, so we had 7 lessons in Chapter 6 Geometry, yes? Chapter 6, Lesson 1 was on line plots. Do you guys remember us talking about frequency tables? Frequency tables can also be called data tables. I've never told you that before. Frequency tables actually are like tables that have lots of data in them, like 1, 2, and 3. And then it says you have 1, you have 3, you have 0. So I know this is really bad drawing, but you take that frequency or that data table and you put it on this thing called, what's that called? So right here, again, I know this is a really bad example, but it says we have the number 1 and it happens 1 time. So we put an X there, right? We have the number 2 and it happens 3 times, so I put 3 X's here, right? And then you'll say, well, what are you talking about, Mr. Pottinger? It tells us right there. What's that called? No, what's this called? The whole thing. This whole thing is called, it's called the title of the data, right? How far kids live from one point. Yes? We good with this? Everybody understands? Line plots, frequency tables is what we use. We can make them. If you're confused, we have notes, we have a video, we have an assignment. You go back and look at it, right? Second thing we do is 2D shapes. I think there were 14 vocab words. Do you need to know all those vocab words? Yes. The 2 really, really big vocab words that I know you need to know as a 5th grader are concave and convex. Concave mean it does what? Put your iPad down. Put your iPad down. Down. Concave means it caves in, right? Convex means it pops out, or it's just normal. It doesn't pop out at all, okay? Do you guys remember that we name shapes by their number of sides? So triangle, how many sides? 3. Because tri means what? 3. Quadrilateral, how many sides? 4. Because quad means 4. Good. Do you remember what congruent markers and parallel markers were? Remember those things? So if I have a shape like this and I go like this, those little markers mean they're congruent, yes? And if I go like this, the little arrows mean that they're parallel, right? Okay, cool. So if you have a hard time with 2D shapes, there they are, yes? You have notes, you have videos, you have assignments, it's in your review, you're good to go. Area and perimeter. Okay, super duper important. Areas of rectangles and squares would be what formula, you guys? I need everybody. Okay. An area of a triangle is not base times height, but it is... Is this really important that you remember base times height divided by 2? Yes. Oh, it is. Area of a parallelogram is also the same as a square and a rectangle. It is... Except for, I have a question. This is a parallelogram. I know it's not a very good looking parallelogram, but it has this slanty side. Is that the height? No. It's not the height. That is the slanty side. The height is always going to be these dotted lines, right? Yes. These dotted lines are the height. Yes, no? Remember what these guys are again? Yeah. What are they? Say again? Okay. And then perimeter, what's the formula for perimeter? Add all sides. Say again? Add all sides. I need you all. I'm looking out here and I see some of you not. Add all sides. Okay, 4th lesson, complex shapes. Complex shapes, there's one word to describe what we did. What's that one word? Chunk. Chunk. So this right here is a complex shape, right? Yeah. We're going to chunk complex shapes into basic shapes. Remember what we did? We made these little X's to show the basic shapes, right? Yeah. Okay, so down here, as you're writing your notes, don't forget to put an X into the basic shapes after chunking, right? Yeah. So we chunked it by drawing this line. Now we have 2 basic shapes, yeah? Yeah? The most important thing that I think I want you to remember is that sometimes complex shapes don't give you all the dimensions, do they? No. If I asked you to calculate the perimeter of this shape, would you have to figure out what this dimension is right here and what this dimension is right here? Could you figure that out? Yes. Yeah, there's enough information for you to figure it out. Yes? Yes. Okay, we good? Yes. Remember, you're taking all these notes, so you should be writing the notes exactly like you see them here, right? Yes. Okay. Number 5, 3D shapes. We've been doing this in Wake Up all week. We're counting vertices, edges, and faces. Yes or no? So you've been studying for the test all week by doing Wake Up, yeah? Okay. What do we know about a prism? There are 4 things we know about prisms. Prisms have, they have, and they have. Now, if it's not a prism, it's probably going to be a pyramid. And we know a pyramid has 2 really big things. They have 1 point and 1 base. So, regardless of if it's a prism or a pyramid, how do we name it? How do we put the first name onto it? It's all about the base. You always have to look at the base to figure out what to name it, right? Yeah. It's all about the base. And who says that? It's funny that she made a song about naming 3D shapes. Isn't that crazy? I think she did. Okay, number 6, nets and surface area. Nets. Okay, here we go. When you want to go from a net to a 3D shape, what do you have to do? You just fold it up, right? Yeah. When you want to go from a 3D shape to a net, you do what? Unfold. You unfold it or squish it, right? Yeah. Okay. And then surface area is probably the one that's going to take us the longest. So when you get a surface area question on the test, you have to find the area of all of the sides and add them together, yes? Yeah. Remember doing that? Yeah. And I'm not going to make you show me all of the area of all the sides. Like I'm going to make you do the plugins and give me the answer and then add them all up, right? Yeah. I'm for sure going to make you do that, okay? Last thing we did, we just finished this, was volume. The formula for volume, this is a big one, is what? Length times width times height. Volume has how many dimensions? 3. So our label is going to be units to the power of 3. Units to the power of 3, or we could say cube, or we could say cubic, right? Yeah. Okay. And then what does volume measure actually? What does volume measure? No, what does volume measure? So if I am drinking a glass of water, would the water be the volume inside my glass? Yeah, it would be, right? So volume measures how much space anything can hold. Okay, we good? All right, here we go. Don't forget, there are some things I don't want you to forget. Perimeter. What's the label for perimeter, you guys? Unit. Say again? Unit. I don't think I have everybody. What is it? Unit. What is the label for area? Unit square. What is the label for volume? Unit cube. And by the way, area has how many dimensions that we're solving for? 2. How many dimensions are we solving for area? 2. 2. It's like base and height, right? Yeah. Volume actually has 3 dimensions, right? Yeah. Okay, it is base or length times width times height, right? Yeah. So that's where we get those exponents from, yes? Yeah. Okay, what else do we have on here? Do you need to show your plugins, you think, on the test? Yeah. I'm going to let you use a calculator. I promise you can use a calculator, but I want to see your plugins, yes? Yes. And then what is our goal no matter what?